Penacony, Land of the Dreams. Penacony's Grand Hotel, the Planar Sphere. Encapsulated in the plane is Penacony's main structure, the Reverie Hotel. Guests staying here will travel to a world of sweet dreams and enjoy a feast of luxury and extravagance in a seemingly omnipotent metropolis. The attendants bow and salute with uniform smiles and greet the guests with music. Welcome to the planet of festivities! Beautiful dreams await you. The guests smile as they move forward, accepting their drinks infused full of bubbles and gulping them down. The scenery gradually becomes more and more incredulous, and the senses feel as if one has been lifted by silk. Guests from other lands defy gravity and walk on walls. Strange toys come to life and roam the streets in celebration. The water from the spring turns into a giant whale and swims through the halls. Opening a window no longer shows a view of the stars in the deep sky, but of the dream's shifting streams of light and shadows, holding up the constant echoes of giant clocks and theaters. The guests finally realize that they were never awake, but are instead witnessing Penacony's true nature in a dream, a place where time stops in a never-ending dreamscape. Everyone knows that under the rule of the family, the doors of Penacony are open to everyone amidst the stars. For a transcendent experience, for an inspirational excitement, for the soothing of worries and wounds, guests of the highest caliber come to surrender their pain in exchange for peace and tranquility, to drink the best of the best, and to wander in the sea of dreams. Some spend unforgettable holidays here and leave content, while others become obsessed with the festivities and settle down here. The star-studded hotel is the jewel of dream weavers, the kingdom of dream makers, and the playground of dream seekers. Few guests are aware of the dusty history of the past. The thread that weaves the dreams comes from reality. The velvety splendor of today's Penacony was born of salty rust, heavy shackles, and deprived freedom. The planet of festivities was once an IPC prison, where countless inmates were relocated to salvage the overflowing memory bubbles for the Garden of Recollection. People repeated in their endless toils until their bodies were as heavy as lead, but their souls became as light as bubbles. At some unknown point in time, the small cells cut off access to reality, but people's consciousnesses became linked in dreams. In the Midnight Bell, that shared dream seemed so real, reflecting the sheer hypocrisy of reality. It lasted until the destruction melted the chains of the IPC, the Trailblaze connected this frontier to the other stars, and the Harmony arrived upon invitation to sow the seeds of peace. Freedom finally broke ground and added a new name to the original dream, Penacony. Today, there is no trace of the crumbling prison. In the dream world, a myriad of skyscrapers has been erected and the desert has been rebuilt and transformed into a metropolis, a new world for dreamers in search of wealth and opportunities, and a utopia for those in search of indulgence and pleasure. The past of the planet of festivities is like a photo that fell to the bottom of the cupboard. It exists, but is seen by no one. Nowadays, the land of dreams is filled with songs of joy, and the noise of the past have been relegated to gossip, silently lost in the interlude of a comedy, in the behind-the-scenes of some cartoon, or in the side column of some magazine. Penacony's dream-seeking track. In Penacony's dreamscape city, intricate tracks meander between buildings, supporting the spheroids that visitors ride in, and connecting rich and diverse dreams together. Those who have visited Penacony will agree that built on dreams is not just some saying, but is a very real statement. The opulent hotel is just the tip of the iceberg of the planet of festivities, and it is only when you stay and dream that you are considered to officially arrived at Penacony. From then on, the land of dreams, consisting of 12 dreamscapes, slowly expands before the guests' eyes. Guests who are new to the place may be overwhelmed by this carnival stage, but do not be alarmed. Look up and see the metal tracks crisscrossing the skyscrapers and the spheroids rapidly rolling along them. They are the most visible means of transportation in this dreamscape metropolis and guide guests to each and every place around the city. Starting from the central station, the complicated spheroid tracks are like the blood vessels of the metropolis. Whether it is the underground tunnels of the moment of daybreak, the vast fields of the moment of scorched sand, or the glittering stadium of the moment of stars, the colorful spheroids roll on, delivering people to each station accurately, efficiently, safely, and comfortably, pouring a sleepless energy into the dream world of Penacony. Dreams give a light and delicate texture to everything, and the nut-like spheroids are regarded as both vehicles and as toys in the land of dreams. However, few remember that the spheroids are actually imprisonment cages. The vehicle towards dreams are tools originally used for locking up prisoners. A long time ago, the IPC sent a huge number of prisoners to the Azana star system in an attempt to stop a catastrophe from spreading. There, people reclaimed memoria, gradually becoming lost between fantasy and reality. The spherical work chambers in vacuum became an unforgettable memory for the prisoners. The hard, curved interior walls, the awful experience of tumbling around, the unbearable daily attendance. Perhaps these pains ran too deep. When those who regained their freedom pioneered the barren dreamscape, the spherical cages came along with them. But now, unlike in the past, peace and freedom have given birth to optimism. Instead of trying to destroy the inescapable nightmares over and over, it is better to add to them the color the place should have, to take them in and embrace them. So the spherical imprisonment cages of the past have become today's spheroids. In the present, the fast-moving, colorful spheroids moving all over Penacony and the slight reverberations coming from within them are all quietly hidden in the light of the Dream City, blending in with the ambitions and laughter, like a land of dreams, where time forever stands still. This is Sigonia, the Unclaimed Desolation. The planar sphere, Sigonia's Gaiathra birth. Sealed within this plane is the most habitable zone in Sigonia 4, the desolate barren desert known as the Gaiathra birth. The silent and unassuming Gaiathra Triclops, with her immense and weighty torso, quietly encompasses all the living and deceased in Sigonia. When discussing Oswaldo Schneider, the head of the IPC's marketing development department, people often focus on the decisive operations he undertook upon assuming the position. Within just 2 years, this young fanatic conquered the bitter cold, pestilence, and death, and managed to address 3 major long-standing issues that had plagued the department for several Amber eras. One of these challenges is the desolate planet known as Sigonia 4, which is covered in barren deserts and scarred by clan vendettas, a place of harsh conditions and strife. Situated near the convergence of 3 major star clusters, Sigonia 4 has long been subjected to stellar winds from multiple stars, earning its reputation as the eye of the storm throughout the cosmos. The planet's surface environment is extremely harsh, leading many civilizations to either migrate to other celestial bodies or succumb to natural disasters. Now, only a small number of intelligent races remain there, referred to as Sigonians by scholars from the Intelligentsia Guild. In reality, Sigonians have fragmented into numerous clans, with most adopting nomadic lifestyles, while a few have established centralized systems of governance of reasonable size. They share a common language. Through the translation provided by the Synesthesia Beacon, you will learn that Kataka means shell slasher, who have a reputation of being the most ferocious clan among Sigonians. And Avjin means honey, who are often accused of pilfering by those willfully ignorant. These clans share a vendetta that lasted throughout Amber eras, engaged in a cycle of bloody vengeance in the boundless wilderness where only the fittest survive, until mysterious figures clad in black descended from the sky. From there, Sigonians were briefly united under the radiance of the Amber, and the natural cycles that were finally reached a temporary conclusion. Afterward, under the IPC's guidance, the Sigonians established the Sigonian sovereignty according to the Interstellar Peace Charter, and took their first steps towards the wider cosmos. Unfortunately, this unity and progress did not extend to the Avjins and Katakans. Some malicious opportunists among the Sigonians viewed the former's resourcefulness with suspicion, while slandering the latter as nothing more than predators with no hope of enlightenment. Although they possessed only limited knowledge about preservation, they understood that some of them had to be sacrificed for it. Utilizing a highly advanced set of parliamentary rules, these devious and corrupt individuals banished both clans to the Endless Desert. As a token of apology, they even went out of their way to declare that the Avjins shall forever retain the right to autonomy. In other words, should any future conflicts occur between the two clans, they could justifiably and lawfully sit back and do nothing. Sigonia's knot of cyclicality. Turquoise meteorites are meticulously polished and shaped, then strung together with gold threads and viridescent silk by the Avgens. They believe that these protective knots must not be buried in the sand, but radiate like the Mother Goddess's divine body reborn from death on the night of Kakava. Avgen means honey in the Sigonian language. It's a conventional term irretrievably lost in the long arc of cosmic history. The Avgens are blessed with attractive facial features, beautiful eyes, and an innate wealth of emotional intelligence, all of which effortlessly endear themselves to any strangers. However, these inborn talents are the exact reason they draw jealousy and ire from others. And the envious and snobbish soon begin their ceaseless slander, and the baseless defamation of the Avgens thus spreads like wildfire through the cosmos. As mere rumors can suffice to tarnish the sanctity of truth, the Avgens, a people of a peripheral world, found themselves assailed without recourse, subject to all manners of suspicion and prejudice. The Avgens have an appreciation for intricately patterned fabrics, as well as a penchant for jewelry crafted from precious gemstones. They're particularly fond of turquoise meteorites, the only kind of gemstones capable of rivaling the resplendence of Gaiathra Triclops' divine body, which in their mythology is believed to have been reborn from death. Known as Funga Bios, their mother goddess reigns over all matters related to fertility, travels, and trickery. Depictions of the mother goddess in the Avgens religion often portray her as a left palm adorned with 3 eyes. The Avgens primarily express reverence for her through spoken prayers alone, believing that the mother goddess is as silent and unassuming as the mountains of Sigonia, and that crafting statues or composing hymns for her would only distance themselves from her protective embrace. The Avgens view the world through the body of the mother goddess. The earth, the mountains, and all that exists on the land are a part of the mother goddess's divine body, and at the end of each calendar year, her divine body will perish. On that significant day, her divine essence ascends as a resplendent aurora in the night sky and is reborn in the following day. Hence, Avgens celebrate the first day of the new year through their grand festival called Kakava. During this festival, they weave sacrificial vessels known as knots of cyclicality, and toss them into bonfires to commemorate the great goddess's birth. According to the incident report by the Marketing Development Department, that shocking conflict took place on a night of Kakava. It was a stormy night when the clouds and fog engulfed the northern lights, which should have been seen as an ill omen. However, the Avgen people were unexpectedly excited. When questioned about this, a maiden from the clan provided the following response. "Rain is a gift from the mother goddess. She is calling to us, urging us to take up arms and fight for our future. This rain accompanies us. This rain protects us. It is in this rain that we shall meet our honorable demise." This is Firmament Frontline Glamoth, the Planar Sphere Glamoth's Iron Cavalry Regiment. Encapsulated in the Planar Sphere is the renowned shapeshifting Uthakai of the Glamoth Empire's Iron Cavalry. Countless silver mechas were loaded into warships and sailed to the outer edges of the galaxy to fend off the vicious swarm from deep space. The Welkin Empire of Glamoth enjoyed a vast territory spanning tens of thousands of light years, ambitiously setting its sight on the cosmos. At the height of the Empire's power, Her Majesty Empress Titania built a magnificent fleet, vowing to bring the fruits of civilization to all the barbaric borders, allowing them a taste of the Empire's benevolence in hopes of uniting them under one rule. However, the expedition was eventually halted by endless waves of raging insectoids coming from beyond the sky. Glamoth's armies fought and failed again and again. Colonies were scattered, and the proud Iron Fleet fell one after another. Besieged with the monsters with compound eyes and sheathed wings, the cries of the people of Glamoth were drowned out by despair, and the Welkin Empire was shattered from then on. Until one day, knights clad in mechanical armor descended from the sky and wiped out the sun-swallowing swarm. Since then, the silver-white Iron Knights have traveled to and from the various star systems in the Empire, crossing the devastated territories and fighting back against the calamity that wiped out the galaxy. They were like warriors born to fight the swarm. No one knew the faces lying beneath the masks of the Iron Cavalry, but their arrival was like a gift from the gods, bringing the light of day back to the human world. Under the Empress's command, Glamoth's iron cavalry charged across the skies, finally stemming the tide of enemies and bringing a moment of respite to the Empire. But in the never-ending battle against their archenemy, the Empire started becoming more and more like its adversary. More and more iron cavalry flew high into the sky, blotting out the heavens just as the swarm did on that fateful day. The look people cast on the Empress and the cavalry turned to one of fear, a fear akin to what they felt toward the swarm. Perhaps one day, the Empire would attain the victory it so desired. But on that day, will Glamoth still be a paradise for humanity to rest in? The Iron Cavalry Regiment formed the last line of defense at the border of Glamoth, where the battle raged on endlessly. Upon their warships, the Silent Knights bore a mission, carrying the hopes of the entire Empire, and faced the tides of enemies, drowning out the stars. Glamoth's Silent Tombstone. The flourishing Empire of Glamoth turned into dust. There was no evidence of its former glory. Only the debris of stardust, mechas, warships, and the corpses of the swarm were left drifting in the vacuum to form a river of residua, preserving the original battle scene of the bloody war fronts, and serving as a monument to its downfall. Historians of the Intelligentsia Guild believe that the Republic of Glamoth was destroyed by the Scourge of the Swarm. Another view claims that the Republic of Glamoth was destroyed by how it completely overshot its powerful enemy. In order to turn the tide in the horrific invasion of the Swarm, the ruling council threw down the gauntlet and resolved to alter the essence of humanity. In an attempt to adapt to the war, they will create a weapon born to fight. The result of all this was Titania, the Empress who holds no power, telepathically commands and controls the knights connected to her. In the dreams that these warriors are woven into, the sole meaning of their existence is to guard Titania and her empire. In their short lives, they studied, fought, received the Empress's commands, faced the enemy fearlessly, and died with honor. No one knew when this falsehood was revealed. Was it from the day when the old humans in Glamoth's territories fell below a certain percentage? Was it the day when scientists realized that the Empress was beginning to revolt against her captivity? Or maybe the day when the swarm's onslaught dissipated into thin air? All the people knew was that the Iron Cavalry gave their all for the non-existent Empire. After decades of bloody battles, the remains of mechas and insect limbs turned into dense debris strewn throughout Glamoth's star system, connecting with each other to form a river of death. When the remnants of the swarm no longer posed a threat, and the leaders of the council rang the bell of peace, informing the citizens that they had dispelled the apocalypse that clouded the heavens, and the Republic would be ushered back into the light of day. What arrived was not daylight, but the beginning of another sunless night. After that, the civilization known as Glamoth faded away, and the long-awaited peace came to the empty stars. The long river of stardust and debris flows silently along the void. Thanks for watching the video so far. As you can see, I'm in a new place. This is going to be sort of like my permanent residence in China when I'm here. I do generally spend a bit of time each year for work here, so I figured you're going to be seeing a lot of this while I'm still setting up the place, but I do have plans to build out a bit of a recording booth over in the corner. You're at my table right now, obviously, but right behind you there is a little corner that I'm going to convert into sort of a booth. Obviously right now everything is untreated, there's hard surfaces everywhere. The mic's just sitting on the desk, so you know, if I bang the desk, you'll hear it. Refrigerator's making some noise. There's a lot of stuff to work on. I am feeling a little bit under the weather. I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but it's a bit nasally. It's a bit not feeling the greatest. So unfortunately, I will probably not have a video for you tomorrow, that being the one for Honkai Impact 3rd. It will be the final anecdotes of the arts, after which, like I said before, I will be moving into the Elysian Realm, and that's going to be a lot of reading to do, so hopefully I recover and we can start working through those. Anecdotes of the Arts, the final episode, was supposed to be for Thelema's anecdotes. I didn't realize that there would be just one of them that isn't particularly long. So I'll scrounge up some other pieces of lore to put around it that are thematic. Don't you worry. It's just probably not going to be tomorrow like expected, so sorry about that. I don't want to record while I'm in a new space sounding like shit, both the space and my voice. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know how things are going, and hopefully we can get this space sorted out and I'll have a recording booth just as good as the one I have in Vancouver. That's it for me. Thanks for listening up until now, and here is the final part of Pouring Over Penacony. This one is going to be for all of you Honkai Impact 3rd fans. The Planar Ornament descriptions for Izumo Gensei and Takama Divine Realm. Izumo Gensei and Takama Divine Realm. The Planar Sphere, Izumo's Magatsu no Morokami. Enclosed within the plane is Izumo, with his past and future severed with a slash. Izumo was once covered in indescribable wars of survival, as well as once being blessed with glorious days of bountiful luxury. Now, the barren land is nowhere to be found, leaving behind only a graveyard of swords, where the past lies buried. The dual planets were intertwined in each other's tragic destiny, dancing an eternal rondo around a pitch-black great sun. In the beginning, one of the planets gave rise to humans. Those who looked down named the land below Izumo. Those who looked up named the world above Takamagahara. One day, uninscribed in the annals, the Yaoyorozu no Kami descended from Takamagahara. These demonic beasts named Kami overturned the skies, burned the rivers and oceans, and shattered the land. People realized in horror that it was not an invasion for rulership, dominance, or plunder. The evil Kami came only to kill. As the planet stood on the brink of death, Izumo embarked on a Kami-slaying journey, exhausting the might of the entire country to slay the calamity named Sovereign of Revelation, and forging the very first Edict Edge using its bestial body. Giving the Kami a taste of their own medicine, the wielder of these swords can recite the mantra contained within the blade to master the divine power of Takamagahara and use it to combat the evil Kami and save the masses. From then on, Izumo started its long and arduous crusade, exchanging inordinate lives lost for the fall of one Kami after another, shattering countless mortal blades to forge the 12 Sentinels. In the merciless fight for survival, Izumo used the might of the Edict Edges to light up the uncivilized world of darkness in less than 10 amber eras, building cities of dazzling neon lights. That distant Takama Divine Realm, once so far away, became so close within their reach. Yet history suddenly stopped there. The existence of the two planets instantly evaporated, disappearing into nothingness. Nowadays, the past of the border planet Izumo can only be gleaned from the scattered whispers in the universe. Academics hold various views regarding its disappearance, but none can solve the mystery. Izumo's history should have been a long flowing river, but it was severed in one cut, and all its past and future voided on emptiness's other shore. Did it never exist, and was it no more than a fabricated story? Did its histories never occur, and it ran aground on the beach of reverse causation? Was it yet another appalling experiment by Dr. Primitive? Or was it a sign of the veracity returning from the end of the cosmos? Or was it a sign of the veracity returning from the end of the cosmos? Only that pitch-black great sun knows the answer. Yet they remain silent, never speaking, because everything that had happened will one day regress to the end. And everything that had ended is guaranteed to happen again. The universe undergoes an eternal recurrence under their shadow, and Izumo is nothing more than the footnote for an ellipsis. Izumo's blades of origin and end. The people of Izumo use tassels to bind the sharper blades to their belts. They walk the world to hunt down Kami with their blades, then use the divine carcasses to forge new blades. In this never-ending cycle, Izumo marches toward prosperity, towards dissolution, and towards the void. The dual planets were intertwined in each other's tragic destiny, and a dead song was scattered amongst the cave where light hid. The song had no beginning and no end, had no sound and no echo, came from no singer, and was heard by none. It thus uttered, Takamagahara, endless like Izumo, for it was a paradise perfect in its place. Yet the sky turned dark, and the great sun pulled the tides, and the kami left numerous trails as if migrating. The Yaoyorozu no Maga kami manifested and slaughtered without mercy, yet little did they expect their peerless authority to be stolen and taken. Izumo broke 70,033 warriors' blades, forging the majestic sentinels, 12 in number. The first was truth, forged with the slain sovereign of revelation. It allowed mortals to comprehend all laws and order, to dissect all things, and to recreate miracles. The second was sky, forged with the slain eternal zenith. It could turn the sky into walls and fortresses and pose obstacles for the Magatsu no Murakami's steps. The third was howl, forged with the slain almighty thunder. It could summon lightning to tear the sky, and the soaring meteors and thunder to serve divine justice. The fourth was mist, forged with the slain Everbreath. It could make winds break and shear the lands, for gales to rage forever unceasing. The fifth was frost, forged with the slain heaven's winter cloak. It could freeze and still the very order of time, to create boundless frozen wastes and stretch one moment into eternity. The sixth was fate, forged with the slain spurned sister of mortality. It could make flowers bloom and cover barren graves, for life and death to dance in a cycle and dissipate. The seventh was flare, forged with the slain flamebringer. It could summon fires to burn down the very world, to torch the skies and to char the earth. The eighth was thought, forged with the slain wisdom supreme. It could discern the past and future with the water mirror, to tell truth from lies over years beyond reckoning. The ninth was root, forged with the slain father of the lands. It could command islands to float into the heavens, for mountains and valleys to burst before armies. The 10th was form, forged with the slain nether lord. It could make the masses join in unity, for endless forms to ebb and flow as one. The 11th was bind, forged with the slain omen ward. It drove misfortune into a binding cage, for evil and demons to instantly vanish. The 12th was maw, forged with the slain woe's 80. It could corrode and age the very mortal world, and make equal kami and oni, leaving an entity's 4 souls to be sundered in twain. Then the underworld was cleared out, the war is called to a halt, and the 12 blades broken and locked. In the emptiness, the dead souls grew restless, and under the black sun 2 blades were forged as bearers of the world's destiny. One was named Origin, the other named End, for all had begun with humanity and shall end with Oni kind. The sounds of lamentation ceased, and the dead flowers rose and fell. The losers returned to the void, and the winners became null. The hobbling monk sang the song without a tune, for those who hold the power of kami are walking backwards towards divinity. Witnessed by the great sun, the land once named Izumo became completely devoid of humans, oni, and kami.